So first trade on the day, ARC 9:36 a.m. I got long off this 410 pivot. You can see it was support here. We broke below it, confirmed it as resistance into the open, and when we reclaimed over it, we broke over. Kind of a low volume pullback, a lot of sellers. I got long 410. Took my first piece off 421. Kind of had this flag. And then ultimately I was looking for the 450 pivot in the pre-market, and I was looking for us to hold over 430. It was this flat top resistance. I'll show you the messages one more.
Just from the downtrend.
Yeah, I'm going over it because I had the recording going, and when you guys said you couldn't hear me, I had to stop the recording because I thought maybe the recording didn't get it either. No, you're fine. Yeah, that's why I'm just like rushing through it real quick. So we got the break over 430. Now I said I was looking for the move into 450. This was our pre-market resistance, and I also said I want to see ARC hold the 430 area. This was our pre-market flat top resistance over here. Ultimately, we got the move into 430, confirmed the support, and right on this candle, I exited my full position. Kind of had this flag, and then we double topped over here at the 480 area, so I didn't get any off in the 480. I was completely out in the 450 area. We come back down into our 430 area. We hold a support, low volume, sellers are leaving. We break this downtrend, and this is where I get long again at $4.49 at 12:04 p.m. We kind of consolidate over this 450 area, and right on this pop, I took a piece of profit off at, I believe it was 60s, like high 460s. We break over, we kind of have this flag, and then when I noticed all of these stuff candles, we got this next leg through the stuff candle, and I exited my last piece at $5.12, so right on this candle. So like I was just saying in the previous recording, I missed out on this whole move up here. We did flag, we did make our second move up, and we had a massive run, but all you gotta do is catch the piece of the pie, so those are my two trades on AERC. Then BTB, I noticed it in pre-market. We had this after hours high yesterday. We broke through it. I got long at 10:29 a.m. That would be right over here. I got long at 38.49. So I got long right here. I was looking for the continuation move. We ended up kind of stuffing on this candle into 35s, but I was okay. I was positioned properly to risk off the previous high of 34 in that area. So I was all good here. We kind of put in this 5-minute flag, low VPA. Buyers stepped in. We got the massive push into 43s. And on this trade, I didn't scale out. This move was so quick that as soon as we got this pop, I sold everything at 41.24. So that would be right, trying to find the exact, so somewhere in this area. We broke over a previous high, and I'd seen the volume was ramping in right here. So I was like, all right, I just got out of it. I'm glad I did, because we ended up stuffing and then running down. Then my second trade on BTB was at 2:42 p.m. Oh, that was my sell order. So my first ad was down here at 37, so 0.37, right in this area on this 5-minute flag setup, low VPA. It was kind of a standstill. We did have a lot of sellers, but we also had a lot of buyers, so it was kind of like mixed match. We had to see who was going to overpower who. Overall, it was a low risk trade. I was risking off of this flat top support area over here at 0.30, whole cent level. It's going to be psych. A lot of buyers probably waiting over there. And then on BTB, when we started curling up 2:43 p.m., I added more. I got my average to, well, it was really the same average, so I just added another piece to it. We got this leg down. I wasn't scared. My risk was set. I knew what I was gonna, potentially lose on the trade if I had to take the loss. And then we got the massive ramping, volume just coming right in. And right on this candle into 32, I closed out my whole position. We were towards end of day. I wanted to just stay safe. So again, on this one, I didn't take profits off. We got the pop. I exited the full position, and I was happy with it. SNTI.
Wait, before you go.
What's up?
Was that just a flag that you were the first entry on this?
This one, yeah. So I got long right here on this flag.
Okay.
We have our rampant volume right here, low volume pullback. Buyer stepped in, and we got the next leg up. It was kind of messy on this candle. I did have I remember when I was in it, I was like, shit, I'm going to have to stop out of this thing right now. We're about to hit my stop loss all the way down here. But, gladly buyers just, stepped in, sucked it up. Overall, once the candle was complete, it was like very, very low in volume, but at the time, it kind of had me frightened a bit, I guess you could say. Overall, held our EMA, pushed higher, got more volume, so that one was a nice one. Also the flag down here. And then I know this one you said was frustrating, SNTI. This one was really, really fun. So I got long, I believe it was 10:38 a.m. at $3.48. I remember believe it was on this candle, 10:38. Yeah, right over here. So we got this resistance point right here. We had low volume pullback. It was actually indecision. So whoever overpowered who was basically going to take over trend. So if sellers walked in, there's a higher chance it could have fell. But in our case, buyers stepped in. We blasted through our 345 pivot, which was our high over here. Put in a new high at 370. And then on the pullback, I remember being on the 3-minute. And on the pullback, I could note, damn, did I go too far? Oh no, we're good. On the pullback, I noticed that volume was slowly dying out. So this candle was kind of big. And then when we came down here, oh wait, no, this is not the area. Why did it take me back so far? Right over here. So right over here, we had the really high volume stuff candle. And then sellers slowly, they stopped selling basically. More buyers were coming in. And then right here, look how low this candle was. This is what really caught my attention. So I'm like, all right, let me see if we hold this 345 pivot. So overall, we held our pivot, we held our EMA trade line, and right when we formed this green candle right here, I got long at 348. We had this pop back like immediately. Buyers stepped in right away. You could see high volume, more than the sellers. We got this pop into 370. I took some off at 367. Then we kind of consolidated over here, and then when we had this pop right here, I was all out. I got filled at 386 right over here, so kind of nailed this top kind of. So I got out at 386. We end up stuffing. Look how high the volume was on that though. Really nice move. Like overall, there were just more buyers. So we get out of that position. We come down. Then I noticed we kind of created this wedge. I'm trying to see, did I play that wedge break? No, I didn't. So we had this little wedge form. We made the next move up. We came down. And then right over here, when we got this downtrend break, I noticed this little 3-minute flag. And on the 1 minute, I posted in the chat that I seen a nice retest, and I'll show you guys that. Right over here, nice downtrend retest in the 407 area. You can see we broke over on the 1 minute, held on all these candles. And on the 3 minute, we were flagging. Low VPA pullback, buyers step in. So right there, I got long at $4.10, and that was at 2:48 p.m. So right here, 410, we get the pop into 420. I took a piece off at 418. The reason for that was we were coming up to this 420 resistance area. Overall, like Mikey said earlier, we wanted to get that move into 430, see if we can crack 430 to try and test these highs. So we come up to 430, a lot of buyers stepping in, more buyers stepping in. It was just kind of moving really, really nicely. It was making a steady grind. And my second piece of profit came off at 432, right over here. So I kind of like looking at it now, I should have waited a little. I shouldn't have started scaling out so quickly because, my last piece, I'm trying to see what I got filled out my last piece. My last piece got filled at 454, so that was right up here. So like realistically looking at the volume now, I had no reason to sell. But I remember what went through my mind was like, okay, we're making this, kind of straight move up. I don't want to catch, a flush candle into the end of the day and, flush all the way into 430. If, we made a steady grind into 430 and we held and buyers were present, probably would have added back. But I got off my last piece at 454. So overall, great trade. Once again, I left a lot on the table. But like I say, all you got to do is catch a piece of the pie. You don't got to catch the bottom and sell at the top. So overall, I think I played this well. I kind of see this flag right here, low VPA, high volume push. Another one right here. Those are my two trades on SNTI. And then we had HGen, HGEN. This one was a really clean 5-minute flag. So right over here, we broke over our pre-market resistance right here in the 23 area. Started holding it as support. I'll draw a line for you guys. So right over here, you can see high volume push, low volume pullback into the pivot. There were a lot of sellers on this candle, and I didn't get in on this candle. I got in on the next candle at 23.34 at 9:59 a.m. So that would be right on this candle, right on these two. So, we have our 5-minute flag, low descending VPA. I get long. My risk was off the 23, a whole cent level. Overall, the stop wasn't hit from where I entered. And we had this massive move right over here. So as we approached high a day, I took a piece off at 24. So that would be right here in this area. Why did I take a piece off at 24? I took a piece off in case we get rejected at high a day and start making the move down, because this candle kind of spooked me right here. Sellers were kind of trying to gain control, and I remember looking at it. I believe it was a 3-minute. We were like really up and down. We were going up, sellers were selling, we were coming down, buyers were happily slapping it. So took my first piece off into the 24 resistance, and then my overall target for this one was going to be the pre-market high. And the reason why, for me, I don't try to if we get the extension, cool. But when I see these levels, all right, we're all the way down here. We came up here already, and look how we sold off so hard. So now when I come into this level again, my mindset is, all right, there's going to be a lot of sellers here. If we get the extension through pre-market high, then I'll look for the pre-market high to hold as support. And if we hold as support, we'll try to capitalize on that next move up. But overall, my main target on these morning plays is going to be the pre-market levels. So my last piece came off at 24.7, which is going to be right over here. So I left some off the table. Once again, I left some on the table. But the reason I exited at 24.7, 24.7? That sounds funny. The reason I exited at 247 is because looking at this candle, we closed right here at 248. So I was, a couple cents short. We had a resistance here. The reason I exited here was because if you look at these wicks, look where these wicks reach into. So when we're coming up here, my mindset is, okay, let me get out of here, because if we start wicking up through here, we'll probably crash down. So I got out of my last piece at 247. Overall, great trade in my opinion. Went on with my day, looking at the volume, low VPA on the, I was on the 5-minute for the flag, but I remember I had the 1-minute as well. So, the 5-minute flag, pretty decent VPA, high volume on the push, exactly what you want to see. And then this candle, I'm sure, just shook everyone out. If you were able to scalp the range, that's cool. But once I played it once, I kind of didn't look at it again, because I hated this whipsaw action, man. I really, really hated it. And
Dude, I know.
yeah, and overall, sellers, they gained control, and they won that battle. Then we had HUSA. I know CL was going; it was trying to flag. So HUSA, I got in at 395 right on this flag. We had our pop into 403s or 402s. Took some off at 4 exactly. Ended up stopping out the rest on this 390 break. I put in the Goblin Gang that was going to be my risk on this trade. Yeah, my messages never show up for some reason. I try to bring up my messages so you guys can. I'm sure you guys see it in the floor every day, right?
Your messages?
Yeah, in the Goblin Gang. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah. So I don't really need to go over them, but yeah, normally I like to show you guys, what's going through my mind, because I usually write it over here. So let me see. Those are all my trades, I believe. Yeah, those were my only trades on the day. So it was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 trades. 1 I added more, so I'm not gonna count that. So 9 trades on the day. Overall it was pretty fun day to me, man. We had a lot of follow through, a lot of opportunity. And if you played it safe, you got to capitalize. So does anyone want to share their screen and go over the trades themselves, or do you guys want me to just pull them up and you guys can kind of commentate through them? Because I want to know what you guys traded as well. Hey Sal, what made you stay in ARC at the 5-minute candle, 1:20 p.m.? Oh, I went too far. 120 would be right here. This candle right here. I don't know what went through my mind at the moment. Remember we had this so something I like to do when I'm trading, I like to be as robotic as possible, and I know I talked about that with you guys. So like on the mindset in this trade, like there really was no reason to exit. We weren't, we didn't flush through support. We came into support. If I pull up the advanced study, I'm sure we'll see that a lot of buyers were present in that area. Well, no, it was honestly all selling. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like looking at it now, I don't know why. Like normally that would kind of frighten me, but I don't know. Looking at it now, we had our flat bottom support and we just didn't break it. So yeah, you see, you can get shaken out by things like that. And like another thing, when you're scaling out, you always have that wiggle room. But maybe I was looking at something else. Maybe I didn't catch this candle exactly. But I remember when I did take my piece off, I remember noticing the candle and saying, all right, we tried flushing so many times. As soon as we get the move up into that, I'm going to take my last piece, and that's what I did. But overall, you can see we had this support level, flat bottom, or I'm sorry, flat top resistance, broke over, confirmed this support, and overall, we just didn't flush through it.
I feel like, in just my opinion, but I feel like maybe the day with SPY raising kind of, motivated buyers today, because normally
Possibly.
that red candle there, I mean,
Yeah, normally
that's a
it would have.
pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, normally this candle would have either shooken out a lot of people as it did, or it would have, gave follow through, but it didn't over here.
And they probably did it intentionally to, steal liquidity from
Possibly, yeah. Like even
people.
right here, we had that big move down, and buyers were ready again, and they brought it right back up. Even this downtrend break over here. But yeah, flat top resistance, flat bottom support. Like looking at it now, I don't know. Maybe I was looking at something else, and then when I came back, I seen that candle, and I was like, all right, yeah, if we get the move up into this area, I'm gonna get out completely. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. Maybe I was monitoring on my phone or something. But anyways, yeah, big stuff on high volume. I'm pretty sure, and I'll agree with this. If I was at my desk, like most likely, if I was looking at it and I seen that candle, I probably would have gotten shaken out too. So I either must have not been at my desk, or I must have been on my phone, or doing something else. Um, but yeah, those are my trades. What did you trade, Hume?
I mean, I didn't really trade much today. I was watching and really wanted to take entry on SMT at 84. I even had a second opportunity.
SNTI, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I said.
You said the SNT. That's why I was like, huh?
um, and I was watching it on the 3 and the 5. I've been making a conscious effort not to look at the 1,
Nice.
and I still felt like it was still, just I don't know. But looking at it in hindsight, it's an excellent trade. 84 to VWAP was only like what 14 or no, it was only like 10 to a damn. It would have been like a 14-cent risk.
Yeah. So
But
where did you want to get long?
on the initial 84 when it dipped 84 from the previous high.
384.
Yeah, so at 11:25 my time.
Oh, okay. So it'd be in this
25
area. We had this move down, kind of
and
consolidation.
I was not paying attention to everything else, just focusing on that. And when it was coming down, and when it broke 92, I went to the next previous, I guess support. Resistance spot was at 84, and it did dip and touch.
Yeah.
And
When you're
I
trading,
missed it.
I'm sorry to cut you off. When you're trading, are your charts zoomed in like this? Like,
Yeah, I don't really have much of a choice because I only have two. I only have my iPad and my
I hear you.
laptop in my
Because
current situation. So
sometimes it helps, zooming out and looking at the bigger picture.
yeah,
That's why I mentioned that.
that's kind of what I do on my iPad. I just focus on whatever ticker I'm watching. You know, I'm viewing the entire screen of it.
Yeah. I mean, you would have had a great entry, double bottom support.
And I mean, when it came the second time too, and double bottomed, and it just
Also, the volume was like, if you look left at the volume, like overall, when we're coming into this pivot area, this previous high area of 380s, you look at your volume, it's slowly fading off. See how it was high and then it's slowly dying off. You can see on this candle,
yeah.
buyers stepped
The,
in and then it was just a
the thing
battle.
that actually kind of shook me was you see those three, the pattern of those three red candles descending, and they are descending. You should have paid attention to that. But if you go a little left, a
Right
little
here.
more red, that big one, right, the first big red candle, yeah. And then there's the second one. It's kind of like what we had talked about before, how there's like a series of candles that sometimes can, uh, you know, say if it's going to sell off or not.
Yeah.
But clearly I was wrong on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, consolidation is your best friend. It's always going to provide the lowest risk entry. And the best part about consolidation is when you're using a study like this in advance. Do you have this study on
Oh,
your the Ripster
yeah,
volume?
I can't really use it on my. I don't have the best internet. I live in the middle of nowhere right now,
Okay.
and, it's unfortunate. It makes my TOS just have like a meltdown for some reason.
Okay. Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like
Um,
in consolidation, when you have a consolidation phase, you can easily just zoom in on that one level or that one area. I'm sorry, and you could see how like there's enough buying and there's enough selling to kind of keep it going sideways. So like
yeah,
you buy the dip and you're just risking off the low of it, and you see who's gonna win the battle. And in this case, you could see buyers stepped in and they kept stepping in. That's why I was wondering what volume you're using, because over here it looks like shit. Over here, it looks like sellers are gaining control.
yeah, and that's all I was looking at.
Yeah, so I can understand that. But
And
yeah,
it just it's the way it was kind of designed. I feel like they were doing that intentionally, um, at least in my opinion. And I should have, I had the conviction massively, and with the way the day was going, with all the buyers, oh my goodness. But
yeah, that would have provided a great low risk entry to join the trend. I mean, even if I had a trend line drawn, like if I extend this one, oops, if I just extend this, you can see kind of held trend this whole way.
yeah,
You just gotta take them, man. Calling
I
them
know.
out day after day. All the, every recording on the YouTube, like every person watching them is probably like, man, this guy's a sniper. Why isn't he taking them? you know, you gotta start taking them, man.
I think, dude, I get too into it. I get too close.
I can tell. You
If you know
get
what I'm saying.
you kind of focus in on one thing, and once you focus in on that one thing, you kind of stick to it, and that's a hard habit to break, especially in stock trading. But
But in the long run, for me, I do think that it is kind of helping me at least with aspects of price action. Um, for me, anyway.
yeah, I can see how that helps you. But like you don't want to continuously build onto that habit of seeing the setups and not executing, because that's
Yeah,
like when your
I'm
account
losing my
grows and
mind.
like every day your account can be growing, and you're like holding that back right now, by being afraid
Yes.
of taking the risk. You gotta just Like if you're unsure, man, and you really feel like if you have a so if you have a high feeling of it, working out, and then you have a low feeling of it failing, just size way down. Size way down so the loss really won't affect you at all, and size enough so if you get a decent move like this, or 10, 30, 40 cent move, it'll at least make you like a pretty penny. Something that will be a decent gain for your account size, whatever your account size is.
Yeah.
But you just gotta take them, man.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one I could
That was one of
have
my hardest things, honestly.
opportunity to.
Yeah, that was one of my hardest things was, I would always find the setups and I would just, hesitate on the execution. That's why I always tell you to size down, because literally sizing down is what gave me that confidence, because, month after month of, playing with, smaller size and seeing, okay, I'm able to build, I'm able to, be profitable. It just builds confidence in your mind, and then, you slowly start sizing up from there and continue on with the journey. So was SNTI
Yeah.
your only potential trade, or did you make any other trade, or?
No, I mean, I was only trading 100 shares with BTB, um, but those weren't anything to really go over.
We'll go over them just so we can see what was going on with the price action. With the 3 o'clock candle on SNTI been a good entry. Jixerman, that's 3 o'clock EST, right? Eastern. I'm gonna assume it is. Yes. Okay. Cool. So 1500. Yeah, would have been a good entry. You have your downtrend break. You have your retest. I'm pretty sure that's where I got long. Yeah, SNTI 248 at 410 down here. But like, you want to wait for a pullback, obviously, because we're coming up to this 420 resistance. You don't want to buy exactly at 420, but like within this candle, I'll assume that's what you mean. Is it a good entry on this candle from its range? Yeah, definitely. You held your little downtrend. You had buyers stepping in. Volume was really low on that pullback into the retest and also into our EMA 9. Notice how we're holding our EMA 9. Once again, sellers were very light on it. And then immediately after, buyers started stepping in. That's a great entry, great low risk entry. Your risk would have been off of this trend line. So let's say you got in, let's just say in the middle. So let's say you got in 414, 415. Your risk would have been off like $4. So all you have to do is position yourself properly so you can, potentially afford the loss if you have to take it. But yeah, I think that would have been a great entry as well. Then your first piece would have came off in the 430 area as you came up to resistance. Then, you would have went to the daily or the hourly to start finding next levels. Or you can just be like me and just start scaling off. And then, Hume, you said BTB is another one you played. Where'd you play this one?
Just in the morning, 7:44 was the entry. There was that like flag there.
Yup, I noticed
Um,
this one.
and I was on the 3 minute when I was watching this. Um, so I jumped in and I took entry, but on the 3 it was just a wick.
Yeah, a lot of wicks to the upside. A lot of sellers on it.
Yeah. So I jumped in at 7. Well, it was the end of 7:44. As this candle was, breaking to the upside, and I just exited on that same candle.
Nice.
Small gain.
Yeah, but execution was well. It's
Yeah, I
all that
mean,
matters.
I just, I kind of got shook by that wick. Um, but I could have held longer as usual.
Yeah. Something I noticed looking at this flag. Look at the advanced volume. You could see that sellers were slowly, leaving. They weren't selling as hard as they were into it. Like this one was a really big
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
candle. This one was way smaller than the previous one, and then this one was like really small. Then on this next
Yeah,
candle, it was all buyers, and right here you can clearly see on this break out of the flag, way more buyers than sellers. So good execution, man. You see, Notice that, man. Picture it in your head. You seen the execution, you executed, you made money.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm still trading the market from, last week and last month. And so it's like I just want to get quick gains
It's not gonna
rather than
happen.
just,
Quick gains ain't gonna happen, man. You gotta grind and you gotta, put the time in and you gotta execute setup after setup, man. You're gonna take
well,
the
no, I
L's.
just meant quick gains before they break to the downside.
Oh, I thought you meant like you're trying to get rich overnight.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, you seen the break, you seen the profit, so you took profit. So
I've been doing this too long to know that you don't get rich overnight.
yeah, I'm glad you know that. But yeah, I mean, once you like look, so take it step by step. Once you get execution, nailed, and you're able to execute on every single setup that you see, then start focusing on scaling out. Like since you have that hesitation, try scaling out. But if it gets to be too much at some point, just get out. You don't want to, put yourself in a bunch of emotional, whatever for no reason. But try
Yeah.
scaling out, and even if it's like 20 20 20 20 or 50 50, whatever. But just try to break it up in pieces just so your mind can get into the habit of breaking down positions into
Yeah,
pieces.
it's true. Even with the 100, I could
Yeah,
have done
like
that. Even 25s, whatever.
exactly. Yeah. And just like I said, the whole point is just to train your mind. But no, I like the flag. I really do. Nice descending VPA. You got a good entry right in the flag. I assume you're risking off 31 area
Yeah, or
or 32, whatever it was. This kind of
yeah,
my line's kind of a little off, so let me fix that.
yeah.
Like right there on the bottom of these two candles, kind of
Mm-hmm.
held this whole area. So yeah, I mean, it was clean. And another thing I want to note is look at the trade line, the EMA 9 on the 3 minute.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
how we just ride it up, and then it gets choppy. But notice in
And
the morning, we just rode it up.
from watching your video of that when the 8 breaks above VWAP, man, it's definitely something that I've been paying attention to a lot more, and it definitely helps decipher between, at least for me, dips and sell off.
Yeah. I want to give you an example of the EMA 9 cross. So here, well, we have our first crossover here, but we'll just go off this one, whatever. So we have our first crossover, VWAP access support, and look at the EMA 9. The whole day
Yeah,
would have got you in at 290, and when you broke below it right over here, it would have got you out at 420s. And then from here you reclaim over it, you ride it right back up. The EMA 9 VWAP strategy is the greatest thing ever, man.
oh, you switched to I got you.
Yeah, I went to SN. I just figured SNTI would have a great example of it because of the move it put in today.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
BTV, I don't know if there was any crossovers.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It was hard to see, but it was way before I took entry, but it was something that I was helped motivate me to stay in.
Yeah, it had a
It was
crossover.
pretty.
So when you use the EMA 9 VWAP strategy, you want to use it with extended hours off. So if I chart this the proper way for the strategy, yeah, we had our crossover on the 23.6. EMA 9 crosses over VWAP, confirms this support on these two candles. Market trades higher. So if you followed this one, you would have got in the 32 area. And when we broke, you would have got out in the 36 area with highs of 40. Then, we kind of held our VWAP. So if I take this up again to our next high, we hold our VWAP. VWAP lines up with 23.6, and we're just consolidating. So no reason to exit yet. You get that next push up into the highs. So now you're in all the way here at 32s. You're at highs of 40. Then when we break below right over here and confirm it as resistance, that's when the come down happened. Then you reclaim it here, put in the flag, ride it up, breaks down through it, can't get back over it, time to get out. Strategy is great, man. I'm glad you're trying to implement it, and I'm glad it's working out for you.
Yeah, I mean, even just the 8 or 9 breaking over VWAP is, you know, for me a sign.
It is. Do you know what it actually signals?
What's that?
When I was asking you, do you know what it's trying to say when it crosses over?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, I was saying the EMA9 VWAP strategy.
Yeah.
When the EMA9 crosses over the VWAP, the guy who taught me this strategy would tell me that when the 9 crosses over the VWAP and it holds, it's basically the stock saying that it's trying to make a clear, decisive move to the upside.
Yeah, and that's kind of, what I was from deciphering between a dip and a knife, because sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, and it's just another added bonus for me, the confidence that when the 8's above VWAP, that it's in an uptrend.
Definitely, yeah. And then to go back to that, you said you don't really know how to easiest way to find out if these are real knives or volume. Volume tells you the story.
Yeah. That's
But
very
yeah,
true.
I think there was a lot of opportunity today, man.
There was.
There was so much. I want to know why this chat doesn't show my messages. Cause I want to show you guys there was so much. I mean, you guys already seen it, but I want to show it to the video. That's so weird. Maybe
Another one that's been driving me nuts has been SKIN. I was watching that 2 weeks ago when 10:35, and took a trade from 10:35 to 10:55 on the day that I did take it. Because I was anticipating a big reversal like this, but the day that I was in, it just didn't happen. But this thing has definitely
nice.
been on a pretty.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, nice daily flag here. Flat bottom support, 1170 area, volume's kind of descending, and then today you get that volume pop with the gap up, and you get your bull flag continuation. So you kind of have your move up here, kind of have your flag set up, and then you get your gap up and continuation. Nice moves. This one, I don't know if this one is on the scanners. Well, yeah,
I did actually. When I took that trade several weeks ago, I mean, not that it means anything, but I did mention it in the room.
I think I remember. There was a lot that we've mentioned. I remember there was a day we mentioned, I think it was sober if I'm not mistaken, and we said it was a good watch into Monday. Monday came along and it freaking ripped. So
yeah, FVLX too had a nice day. I didn't take any trades on it, but
you said FELX?
No, or I'm sorry, XL or FXLV.
Oh, FXLV. Yes. Oh yeah, this was also another one. I remember we said it's holding up. Let's see what it can do into Monday. And yeah, wow, look, it still held this area. Wow, this 3 area.
And today would have been a nice. It wasn't really on my radar. I mean, it was on my radar, but not on my screen. Too much opportunity elsewhere. But yeah. Look at that. That was a nice move, man.
Nice flag here. Low descending VPA. Man, these flags are freaking amazing. These flags, the probability on them is just,
that is true.
Paired with the proper VPA, it's almost a cheat code.
Yeah, I mean, there's been maybe one that's failed out of 30.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be losses, but yeah, man, the probability of the flags working out are very, very high.
And I was watching BTB from after hours yesterday, and was shocked at how much volume came in yesterday and how big of a move it made.
Yeah.
Contemplated having some overnight, but I thought it was, I thought it was just going to sell off.
Yeah, it's always risky holding these, shitty companies overnight.
Yeah.
It's better, less risk to, catch the momentum. And I'm looking at it now and like, I had this 24 area, drawn out. We broke over it and, we held it into the open. And then we had this, parabolic ride. This would have been a really nice ad down here, man. Holy crap. Just,
Yeah.
risky playing that opening volatility.
This one was, for me, I was going to, I think in the morning.
Oh, here's that H.
20.
What was it?
No, I was just from 24, right before open.
Yeah.
But
Would have been really nice to add. Yeah, I was just saying this is the HGN message over here, and then we got our move up. Right on that pop, we started scaling it off. And then let's see over here, ARC 1 minute flag, 340 test here over 430. We can see 450s. Let's see what else there is. There was a lot of trades in the room today, man.
it's crazy how APRN, I think they had some really bad news or something, but my God, their daily looked so good. And I just flubbed the play. But I plan on swinging this for a couple days.
Yeah, it definitely could dead cat bounce, but they did do an offering, so keep that in mind.
That's what it was. Yeah, the offering. Because I knew that, because the way that they were trading last week, the day that we were really looking at it, from the low fives to 650.
Yeah, I remember that. Let me make this.
And
Yeah, all the way over here. I remember this move. But yeah, no, this honestly, this can dead cat bounce. Gotta hold those lows. The dead cat bounce, you could, 330s.
when they close the offering.
Yeah, I can see. Look at all these dumps.
Dude.
Just selling it off slowly. Jeez, man. Offerings suck. You'll be in a great setup, and I remember once I got caught in an offering, and I lost like freaking 20%, man, in like 2 seconds. I forgot what ticker it was, but I called it out on the Goblin Gang. It was a pre-market trade, and I remember, I think it was a flag or something. As soon as I got in, it was like at $7. It was already on a massive run. I thought we were gonna, get the next leg up. Literally, as soon as I get in, as soon as I type it out in the chat, bam, company drops offering, stock tanked from 7 to I think it was like 640s, and that's when I was able to get out. But it just kept falling. I remember later in the day it went down to like 4s. So, I was like, phew, good thing I sold. But it's never fun being caught in, offerings or anything like that.
No, it's not.
Jixerman, what else did you trade? So those were your only two for the day, Hume?
Yeah. I mean, lots just watching. I've been trying to take it a little bit easy to give myself a break, but the way SPY was acting, it seemed like there was going to be a lot of buying today, so I was at the screens for the majority of the day.
Yeah, I didn't really look. Oh wow. Holy shit.
Great, man.
378? Wow.
That's $20 a share.
Oh my god.
After hours or pre-market.
Holy crap.
It dipped to 357.58. And then today it's
What a monster move.
Dude.
Then Elon Musk came out and said he's gonna buy out Twitter.
Oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah, he's gonna pay him 54.20 per share. That's why we're just consolidating. I FOMO
Yeah.
tops, had no plan. Alright, Jixerman. Oh, holy shit. That's cool. Tops made a really nice move.
Oh, dude, and I was watching this at the end of the day because of how it didn't really like sell off, in my opinion, the way that I thought it was going to. And I was going to take entry at 540, but it did dip a little late. But then after hours, holy God.
Yeah, I see you guys held this 540 pivot, or 530 pivot, I should say.
Yeah. I should have paid more attention to that.
Yeah, looking at the volume as well, coming into the pivot. Sellers were slowly leaving, volume was diminishing. Right here, buyers slap it up.
It was just so slow moving. It was just taking too much mental capital.
Yeah, there's always going to be those ones like that. I normally tend to leave those ones alone. Like tops, I remember towards the end of the day, I think someone in the Goblin Gang had called it out, but I didn't play this one at all today. I think I seen it when it was consolidating here, and I remember telling myself, excuse my language, but I remember telling myself, fuck that. And the reason I say that is because right when I remember looking at it and it was in this area, wick, 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 wick. It was Wick City for me. Like there was no clear direction. There was, no clear momentum or anything. So I was like, screw that name. I'm not even gonna waste my time. We had some good trades on the day. Let's play it safe.
Yeah, I mean the thing for me was just those wicks definitely were the turn, but I was like, this thing really hasn't sold off like I thought it was going to at the end of the day. But
Yeah, even on this stuff candle here with the really high volume, just like AERC, it didn't end up giving follow through. That's something that's something that I'm noticing now too. It happened on the other charts, happening on this. So what this tells me is shorts are losing the advantage and buyers are gaining the upper hand. So that tells me going into the rest of the week, we could potentially start seeing more follow through as shorts are going to be more conservative. They're not going to be shorting the plays that are up 10, 20, 30%. Or if they do, they're going to play it safer. And what that's going to do is we can hit their stops faster, they can cover faster, and then we can get that next leg up because their selling will turn into buying pressure.
yeah, this thing I noticed on my standard like 10:30 this morning, 10:30 something like that. But there's nothing. I looked at it and there wasn't much that I could really go off of. But my scanner was definitely on point.
Yeah. Just trying to find Jixerman's entry. 210 candle, pull back to 564. Oh, 145 candle. So that would be right over here. Pull back into 560 area. Yep, I see that. So Jixerman, you should have, got out of it with at least a win up to sixes, right? Or did you lose on it? Did you sell out in profits? Because I see you said, oh, okay, you lost. So I assume you got stuffed on this candle over here. Yes, yeah, that's what I assume. Damn. Yeah, damn. Look at that wick, man. All buyers right over here. Just all buyers. Yeah, I mean, going into a trade, not having a plan, things like that can happen. But I mean, this
How
Jixerman.
could that thing down like that if it's all buyers? So crazy.
Could be well, no, even a hidden seller would show up on the volume. So what could that be? Someone tried flushing it, and the candle just. Let me go to the 1 minute and see what the volume looked like there. Yeah, someone sold right into it with huge size, like all at once. and then buyers just like, oh, this
And
guy
look at
gave
that
us.
can. Oh my God, it's all behind.
Yeah, someone, people around the world were like, thank God someone gave us that beautiful dip.
Wow,
Right into
man.
the 530 area, and then bam. Kind of
Is
get
that
this.
VWAP or 9?
This is the VWAP right here. Where did my 9 go? What the hell? I notice my Thinkorswim does that sometimes. Like, here's my 9. Sometimes you go to a smaller time frame and it will disappear. Yeah, like my 9's going on the 1 minute now, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the 9 probably pulled like a quick one. But wow, man, holy crap. I have to step away for a few. Thanks for the review. Anytime, Jixer, man. I'm glad you could join. Pretty small review today.
Yeah. Especially for the day that it was.
Yeah, right. I thought, there'd be, more people in here hyped to go over the, trades they made, but I guess not. So BTB, I don't really think I need to cover any more on that one. It was like solid. Like, unless you have any other questions, I'll go ahead and answer them. But ARC, I'm looking at it now. Like, I don't know if there was really anything I could have done better. I think I played everything really, really well. I played safe. I didn't have to take any losses, so that's a great thing.
That's awesome.
Except for that last piece on Husa, but followed my plan. 390 was my risk. We dipped into 388, and I cut it. So yeah, overall solid day, man. I didn't really realize how not trying to brag or anything, but I didn't really realize how well my execution was till I look back at everything right now. Like, yeah, I could have held, like ARC, I could have held for this move, but looking back at these candles, all the selling pressure, I was already up on the day, and what time is it? It was 1:30, so yeah, we were coming out of lunch. Could be a fake out, but I mean,
And
what
I mean,
this...
it's not bragging, man. It's good to recognize it.
Yeah, I just don't want to, I don't like to sound like I'm trying to brag or anything. Like, oh, look at me, I'm executing great.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but like looking at all these charts now, we're getting follow through. So, what does that mean? It's time to step on the gas.
Yeah.
Not just for me, for you too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Start taking those damn trades. But I guess if you don't have any other questions, I mean, I'm gonna pull up these charts again because I want to like.
I mean, the hardest thing for me, especially on SNTI, is I could have and should have had my order ready at 84, but once it hits that and it pops to 92, 93, I'm there and I'm like, yeah, just concerned that it's too extended, which it clearly wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
in
just
in the moment, it was extended. I'll agree with that. You had a run up from twos. Now you're in the threes, high threes, almost fours. You did go up to fours earlier. So, no, I agree with you. It was extended, but rather than having your order ready, just have your finger on the trigger ready to go. And then another thing I'll add to that is when a stock is truly strong, when you're pulling into a support zone. So I'll try to use like a blank canvas to kind of give you an example of what I'm about to say. So let's say you have...
market or limit.
I buy at market. Like, unless there's a big spread on the stock or anything and there's not much liquidity, then I'll go in with a limit. Usually I'm buying at market and then I'm selling at limit. So like what I wanted to show you real quick, like let's say this is your support line, and then let's say whatever stock ABC comes up, we start trading down sideways. Then when we come to this area, if you see it touch this area or get close and immediately, like right away, like not consolidate here for a second, as soon as you come down and it does this, it bounces right off as it did over here. This is considered to be a confirmation of support. So you don't want to see it come down. Like, you see how we came down here, boom, we bounced. We came down again, boom, we bounced.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to see when you pull into a support zone, because that will give you, the trader, more
Yeah.
confidence to get in there, because now you're not like, all right, but we're trading along support, our buyer's coming in, but when you come down and you see that quick bounce, like right away, at least in my mind, right away it tells me, all right, bam, buyers are here, let's go. Like Diego says, let's bang.
Yeah. Initially I thought that was some shorts covering on the first one, but the second one, I mean, it was clear. It was very
Yeah.
clear. And
Even
just how it kind of continued on the first one as well. But I'm glad you went over that, because that's
yeah,
something that
even on the advanced study, like if you look at this, look how many buyers are in this candle. And if you go to this one as well, look how it's all buyers, you know?
damn, that's a really good study, man. I wish I could use it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be afraid, man. You got to see these things and you just got to execute. Either it works, and most of the time, in a hot day like this, when everything else is getting followed through, there's a higher chance that it's gonna work. And when it does work, it's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna make you want to do it over and over and over and over. You know?
And this was just a big rub for me, because 14 cents is nothing to risk.
14 cents. I mean, like 14 cents could be a lot to risk with big size, or it could be a little risk if you're trading smaller size. So that's why it all depends on what your position size is gonna be. Because if I'm risking a
But I'm
dollar,
saying 14, definitely on bigger size.
yeah, definitely on bigger size, it'd be a little higher risk because you could lose a lot more. But like, all I'm saying here is that's why it's important to position yourself properly. Because if you're trading like 20,000 shares, let's say, you don't want to take a 14-cent risk. You want to risk
Yeah.
maybe 3 to 5 cents. But if you're trading 100, 500 shares, yeah, 14-cent risk is fine. No problem. So that's why I just say all depends on position sizing.
And I was just basing it off EBAB.
Yeah, I mean, you would have got a great entry, and then also like I said earlier, this trend line was respected very, very well. Also, kind of had a wedge here too. Oh well, that was the downtrend I mentioned, but now that I have the lower trend line, it's kind of like a wedge, and we got our break and our follow through. But yeah, well, I guess we'll call it here, man, and
Sounds good.
I'll go ahead and cut the recording here. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for joining. Always
Yeah,
appreciated.
thank you.